Welcome everybody to yet another technical webinar from Ivan. Today we're going to talk about Pansy and Viola, the Viola with Rocchiana and the Viola cornuta. Ivan will guide us through a successful young plant production. Ivan, floor is yours.
Thank you, Michael, and I would like to say hello for everyone who is joining today our webinars. Hello, flower lovers. Hello, our customers. Hello, just visitors. And we'll start to talk about topics and growing secrets of Viola. Today we will talk about the two crops, made to say, but as because it has a similar requirements, I would like to join. I intending to join it into one webinar, and now I prepare these slides to both crops because it honestly has the same requirements, as I said, and of course we traditionally can start with our fantastic assortment because Viola, it is one of the largest pillar of Syngenta assortment. We have a very exceptional Viola range and the Viola varieties range assortment, very wide assortment, very colorful and very unique as per different type of application on that assortment. And let's start with our Viola with Rocchiana assortment. Here you can see how it is huge. We have many different type of series, and of course a leader of that series is a Delta and Delta Pro, and of course Colossus. These three crops made to say three pillar of Viola grade Syngenta assortment. And here you can see performance in this table explaining a bit more about the performance of this crop, what is the pot size suitable for this crop, what the weight and height of these plants, what is the habit and the application specific for this crop, and specific features. Of course, I would like to mention that 2 years ago we celebrated 25 years of Delta, our fantastic variety. It has a very exceptional number, very huge number of varieties in that series. And by the way, 1 year ago we launched Delta Pro. Delta Pro, it's called because of professional, really specifically professional features of this crop. It has very uniform blooming, very simultaneous blooming. So if you able to see, if you starting to see first flowers, you will be confident 100% that 100 of plants will bloom in only 5 days. You can imagine. So again, since you catch the first flower in your greenhouse, it means in 5 days you will see all greenhouse will be bloom in 100%. And let's start to talk about our assortment. And of course, you can find additional information, and you can go a bit deeper into specific of our assortment in the page in our catalog. Here you can see a QR link on the Syngenta catalog and Flora Nova catalog, where you can find additional information on that varieties. And let's start to talk in a little bit in details about assortment. We are starting with the Delta Pro because Delta Pro is made to say locomotive or driver of our entire Viola assortment. And Delta Pro already, despite of this quite new series, it has already 17 varieties, 17 separate colors and 2 mixes. And some of the varieties we keep in the Delta, and Delta still present in our assortment just because there are a few exceptional colors in that series, and Delta can be supplemented, can consider as a supplemental assortment to the Delta Pro. Of course, Delta Pro can be produced as tray planted as a tray plant, and in the it also can be produced in a pot, and the same feature has a Delta and other varieties. In Delta you can find such wonderful colors like a morpho, delta morpho, and like a delta pink surprise. I specifically highlighted it here in these pictures. And let's go to the next varieties. This is made to say that our elephant of our assortment is a Colossus and Mammoth. This is a very huge in flower size variety. It has exceptional flower size, flower diameter. It reaches up 9 centimeters in diameter. And here you can see the performance of the separate plants in the pot. And here you can see the similar plants of the Mammoth series. And in this picture, you can find a little visible difference between the Colossus and Mammoth varieties. Colossus more base branching series, but little bit more compact than Mammoth. But Mammoth, on the other hand, has also good branching, but it little bit taller than Colossus. But Mammoth also has the same made to say similar flower size. And we have also exceptional hanging variety. It's called freefall. Freefall really looks like a waterfall of flowers, and it's very suitable for hanging basket. And one interesting feature of the freefall, it is very harmonic distance between the notes, so it not stretchy to form maybe made to say not really beautiful trailing stems. It forms very harmonic, very branching and very bushy plants. And here you can see in the picture we have a very attractive color in this variety. It has already 10 colors in 2 mixes. And now we touch core portfolio of Viola, and now we shift into additional or supplemental Viola vitriciana assortment. By the way, some growers call Viola vitriciana as a Pansy, and this is a traditional name of this crop as well. And also you can use it for sure. And we have a Delta Speedy. Delta Speedy interesting for the region which has a short day condition in early spring or late autumn. And Delta Speedy gives a lot of opportunity with a short day condition because it's very fast. It's not so sensitive to day length, so that's why you can with the Delta Speedy you can produce plants with the flowers quite earlier than most of other varieties, and with a good condition. And of course we have a Fina. Fina is made to say a good landscaping crop. It not so branchy, a little bit vigorous than other varieties, but it has a very unique assortment. Here you can see the yellow with the red wings. It's really really warm, really nice color of the red wings. It not looks like too dark, and the structure of the petals it's really nice and really visible. Karma, it is even more branchy with a bit smaller flower plants, and it can be supplemental assortment to Fina and to Delta. And we have also another freefall XL. It called XL because of the flower size. It has a bigger flower size than a freefall, and in a little bit less branching than a freefall, than a common freefall. And this series has 9 colors and even one mix. And please not asking me to continue a bit more with the Viola vitriciana assortment because we already spent a lot of time, and we are shifting to Viola carnuta assortment. We also has a not so big but also fantastic Viola carnuta assortment, or it can called common violas. And Viola carnuta differs from a little bit different, has a little bit different plant than Viola vitriciana. It's a bit smaller, more compact. It has a smaller flowers, but the numbers of the flowers more than on the plant of Viola vitriciana or Pansy. And we has a 2 part of assortment. One part of assortment came from Flora Nova genetic, and second part of assortment came from Syngenta genetic. In Flora Nova genetic, we have a Belvisa series. This is a series with the largest number of the colors. It has 33 colors. colors. And here you can see in this table, you can see the performance of the entire performance of the our Viola carnuta series. Here you can see which kind of pot size are suitable for that crop, weight, height, and of course you can see the specific of the application, and some of the crop also suitable for the landscaping. And please keep in mind that Viola is very nice landscaping crop with a very exceptional performance, especially for the cold time of the years and cold, may to say, part of your countries. And of course, we will touch this assortment in details in the few minutes. And here with this QR code in the bottom of this slide, you can reach out pages of our catalogs, and there you can find more additional informations about our Viola carnuta assortment. And let's start to look on the pictures how it looks like. Beldiza, as I said, has an exceptional number of the colors, 33 colors, and this is a very nice opportunity for the landscaping. And next one is a tiger eye, and tiger eye it reflecting their flower color in their name. You can see here very interesting and very unique coloration and the color pattern in this petals. And in tiger eye we have only two colors, but it's really nice color. It's really nice plant, very bushy and very nice. You will like to see it in your landscaping for sure. And one additional nice feature of this crop, the flavor of the flowers can be reach you within 2 meters from the plants. So you can imagine, initially you can feel the flavor of the flowers of the plants of the tiger eye before you can see that. And next one is Deltini. Deltini is early variety. It's day natural variety, like the same. It has the same characteristic in a day neutrality as a Delta Speedy. You can use that variety, that series for the early production, and for the main time of the year, for the main production, you can use a Penny. Penny is more professional series, more branchy, has a little slightly bigger flower size than Deltini and the Beldiza. And of course, it is suitable for very dense production with a large plants per square meter, with a larger quantity of the plants per square meter. And let's finalize our to overview our Viola carnuta portfolio with Endurio. Enduria is another trailing series. So you can imagine with Syngenta assortment and Flora Nova assortment, you are able to try in your location, and you'll be able to amaze your customers with even 3 different type of violas for hanging basket. And Enduria has 15 colors with 1 mixes, and here you can see dark blue color, very exceptional color range with a very nice performance in the hanging basket. It's not so trailing as a Viola trailing varieties of Viola vitruviana, but it's also suitable for the even big patio pots as well. And let's start to discuss how to reach this kind of plants, how to grow this kind of plants, and how to grow in a good condition to amaze you, to really amaze your customers. And of course, I cannot avoid one how to say it, impressive picture of Viola vitruviana performance. Here you can see the picture taken from Gilroy in California in the canopy in early springtime. In the canopy you can see this very fantastic flower blanket made by Viola vitruviana by Delta. And let's start with the technical characteristic of the Viola and with the technical secrets of Viola. To get these nice plants, as you are able to see in the previous picture, in the previous slide, we can mention more critical items. And what is this item? One, it's a light, significant for germination. The second thing is a pH range. pH below 5.8 is very critical for viola development. Boron and ammonia, boron deficiency and ammonia toxicity. Stretching. Not forget that the viola is cold lover crop, so you have to already be prepared to understand how to avoid the stretching in this crop. And televiopsis. Televiopsis is a fungal diseases, can damage viola, not very frequently, but these very serious diseases. And you have to be prepared to avoid this kind of problem. And if you collect and if you provide all good condition, you receive very nice, colorful plant. And of course, most of these factors I already mentioned in my previous webinar. And by this link, you can use this QR code to reach out our webinar, our YouTube channel, where you can find additional information about other crops and about these webinars as well. And let's start with the germination process, because today we mostly will talk about germination stage and young plant production stage, as because the name of this webinar is young plant viola young plant production success. Let's start with the sowing process. How to sow and how to germinate viola successfully. Initially, I would like talk spend a few words about the trays. For viola, it's very suitable 288 or similar cell size trays, and I advise to make a sowing process directly into the trays, because some of viola, and especially in cold condition, has a sensitive roots, and during the transplanting from the bedding sowing bed to the trays, you can sometimes damage roots, and so that's why it's better to use the sowing directly into the trays to avoid additional damage of the roots. And what's about seeds quantity per tray? It's not necessary to apply 2 or 3 seeds per tray. 1 is absolutely enough, because viola is quite branchy crop. And here in my background, you can see the performance of the about 1 week old of viola. You can see it's completely covered with the leaves. And what about seed cover? Yes, viola required seed cover, but you must to keep in mind one thing. Viola requires a light for germination, and to reach out a more even germination, more uniform germination, I advise to use germination chamber. In germination chamber, you can maintain more quality and more precise condition to viola germination, especially it is concerning to the relative humidity, because of course in the separate volume you're able to provide more comfortable temperature and more high humidity to increase and to improve the germination. But please don't forget, if you use germination chamber, apply the light. And here in the right picture, you can see the example of germination chamber with implemented light bulbs, which provide the light for the germinating seeds. And let's talk about the temperature. Temperature is quite cold, I may to say, for our regions, for most of our countries in South Asia and Southeast Asia. Of course, viola requires quite low temperature, but if you use the winter sowing time or late autumn sowing time, it is possible to find this temperature quite easily. And please don't afraid if you has in your location quite high temperature in the daytime. If you're able to provide a cold night temperature, the viola will germinate it quite in high rate as well. But if you're not able to provide this temperature in your greenhouse, please use the germination chamber, and of course not forget about the lights and about the light bulb in that germination chamber. And one additional remark: Viola not requires too high intensity of the light in the germination stage. It is necessary only 200 or 300 lux in the shelf. So that's why it's not necessary to provide too strong bulbs or too intensive light in the germination chamber. And let's go to another topic. Another topic is a pH. And what kind of pH suitable for Viola? And what can happen if you not provide to Viola proper pH. For instance, in general, we have in a hands substrate in a different pH range. In many regions, sometimes it's difficult to find, especially if a grower apply natural sources for substrate like soils, like natural rock derived substrate. Sometimes that kind of substrate can be too alkaline. And please be aware about the pH range of the substrate. Not provide and be careful about too alkaline substrate, because with improper pH you can receive these kind of difficulties, or this kind of issues, like iron deficiency, boron deficiency, and the other micro element availability, and fungal diseases. I will talk about the fungal diseases, about connection between fungal diseases and pH little bit later. But please keep in mind, pH by itself also very nice tool to avoid many problems with the fungal diseases. And what is a suitable pH range? Suitable pH range is about 5.5, 5.9. It may to say below 6. So if you provide even below 5.9, so you will create very perfect and very exceptional condition for the root health. And of course, when we're talking about pH, we're talking not only about pH in the substrate, because in general, pH is a significant factor in the substrate. But if you not provide proper pH in the water will increase pH in the substrate later with the multiple applications. So that is why provide proper pH both ways, in the substrate and by the water. And please not forget to measure pH water before application. And let's go to the pH second item, which I would like to make the focus on. This is a substrate pH. Don't use a cheaper substrate. Why I talking about and why I telling about a cheaper substrate, and why I make a focus on that, not apply cheaper pH for the young plants, because you can imagine young plants takes not so many substrate. So that's why if you save money on the substrate in the initial stage, you can lose more plants and lose more money than in the case if you provide more expensive substrate. And as because Viola, as some crops like Catranthus sensitive to fungal diseases, I begging you not use original, I mean natural native substrate. Use a professional substrate, because again, Viola seedlings not takes too high volume of the substrate in the young plant stage. And what's about substrate quality? Please never use plant-derived substrate, which is made from the fermented residuals of the rice or rice husk. And what if you're not able to use the natural soils or substrate derived from the plant residuals? What kind of substrate you have to use? The better substrate is a peat moss derived substrate with a pH 5.5, 5.8. Of course, not in every location this kind of substrate available. So that's why it is possible to use a peat on the base of the fiber food. This kind of substrate becomes more and more available in the South Asia, in Southeast Asia countries. Sometimes it can be even cheaper than peat moss substrate, and of course peat moss substrate, one of the most expensive substrate, but it has more high quality, more high-end quality than other substrate. And of course you can use a coco peat, but to be confident 100% on the quality of your substrate mix for Viola, it's better to use a mix peat with a coco peat. At the same time, you can decrease the price of the substrate, and you can support the quality by the presence of the peat on the base of the peat moss. And of course, if you use a coconut derived substrate or coconut peat, please not forget to check pH in the substrate to be confident on the proper range of pH. And what's again about the substrate? And of course, we will talk about the aeration of the root, because the root health is not possible to reach out good root health without good aeration, good watering and good aeration. And Viola requires about 20 or 30% of the living agents, and the best living agents can be perlite or sometimes high size particle sand. I ask and I made to advise to avoid vermiculite for the as a living agents for the substrate because vermiculite normally has a quite higher pH than a 6, so that's why try to avoid this kind of substrate. It is possible to use vermiculite as a coverage, as a covering agent after the sowing, but please not use as a mixture part of the substrate. And again, about pH range, range should be within 5.5, 5.8, or at least 5.9. And so what about other characteristics of a substrate? Total EC should be on the level of 0.5. Please not use the substrate filled by fertilizer, because Viola has enough quantity, enough concentration of the elements, mineral elements inside the seed. So that's why in the first stage, it's not necessary to provide specific fertigation, and you can use a fresh water for the first watering. And substrate watering in the first stage, and substrate wet level should be maintained on the 5 grade, and should be saturated in other words. What means saturated substrate? In this table you can see 5 stage of the substrate moisture condition. You can see the picture which displaying the substrate surface. It looks like glittering, so it means substrate filled completely all the space between the soil or substrate particles filled by water. And if you try to elevate a tray, you will see the water very easily trickling down from the trays. So it means substrate watered up to saturated level, up to 5 level. And let's start with the fertigation tips. We already passed the sowing process. Viola start to germinate it, and we have to think how to fertigate it properly. The most critical things concerning to fertigation of Viola is boron deficiency and ammonia toxicity, and of course entire quantity or entire concentration of the fertilizer in the watering solution. Please provide level of the fertilizer 75 till 125 ppm of nitrogen. You can provide it with about 1.5 gram per liter of the dry fertilizer, soluble fertilizer with NPK rate, for instance, 5 15 5 15 or 15 3 15 or similar like 18 5 15. Please keep in mind here phosphorus concentration also quite low. Phosphorus concentration really significant to boron deficiency. And of course, give the fertilizer with every watering, not apply fresh water. Since you start to apply the water with the fertilizer, after normally it should happen when the first normal leaves get appeared on the plant top. Since that time, never apply clean water. Every watering should be with a fertilizer. And how to avoid boron deficiency and what's happened and how it looks like. Here in the picture, you can see the leaf deformation caused by boron deficiency. It's happened because of the boron makes able sugars came from the already matured leaf, which able to produce sugar or glucose into the tips and into the new leaf. If the boron is in deficiency, boron not able to carry sugar to the new leaves, and new leaves became after that will become too deformed or curled, how you can see in the picture. And what need to be, what should be avoid, what kind of activity should be avoid to protect plant from the boron deficiency. One is not apply too high phosphorus level, because phosphorus is a antagonist to boron, can be antagonist to boron, and phosphorus provides sometimes lower pH in the substrate. It able to decrease pH below the 5.5, and so low pH and the presence of the phosphorus can block boron absorption by roots. Not use urea, because urea can dramatically increase pH, and high pH level also block the boron boron absorption by the roots. And not use clean water. Of course, if you use clean water, you not provide a fertilizer, and of course you not provide the micro elements, because the boron is a micro elements. And next topic I would like to say on that, please try to avoid use the fertilizer with a high range of the ammonia. Sometimes it is possible to use a fertilizer with ammonia presence, but try to avoid this type of fertilizer with a high ammonia range. And if you provide all these topics in a proper way, you will receive the healthy plant. Here you can see how a plant should look like in the 6-7 leaf stage. And let's talk about the fertigation, other topics of the fertigation tip. Provide, as I said, 75, 125 ppm of nitrogen. So you can provide it by the half of gram up to 1, even 1.5 gram per liter. And honestly, Viola not requires too much fertilizer, and entire you see in the substrate not should be too high. So please be careful about watering Viola with a too high concentration of fertilizer. And what happened if you apply too high concentration, or what happened if you will not check concentration of the salts in the substrate? Here in the picture you can see the sinks. It called site necrosis on the leaves, or margin necrosis on the leaves, caused by high concentration of the fertilizer. What's happened in this location? I know the story about these plants. I visit the grower who produced this Viola, and I can tell the story in the background with this Viola. Grower applied quite high but normal rate of you see in the water. It's about 2.3, but a grower not provide normal drainage on this location, on this table. They use a plastic cover to put on that plastic foil trays with the Viola, and water not able to be dropped from the bottom of the table. So that's why all water with with entire quantity of the salt stays in beneath of the trace. And so that's why salts stays mostly in the substrate, because when the substrate drying out, the rest of the water sucking inside the substrate, and this salt concentration increase very dramatically and reach up some level like a 3.8. And this kind of in this kind of concentration of the salt can even completely destroy the plant. And here you can see on the next picture how plant looks like later on. And so, as I said, entire salt concentration was 3.8 millisiemens per centimeter. So to avoid this problem, please follow up optimal range of EC. So provide EC in the water in the level 1.5. It is possible to use even higher concentration to get more healthy plant, but please provide a drainage and please provide the proper watering to let the water trickling down from the bottom hole of the trace. And optimal EC in the substrate should be 0.8 up to 1.3, and regular measurement of the EC in the substrate will help to avoid this very maybe terrific problem with the violas. And what I would like to say about this picture again. Sometimes grower can confuse these kind of things with a potassium deficiency, because the potassium deficiency looks a little bit similar with also margin necrosis, and as because of common thinking, common rules, as growers see the things of the similar with the potassium deficiency, it start to apply more potassium. So add the more fertilizer. He can start apply more fertilizer to the plants. In this case, he will increase the he will made to say pushed up the problem, and he will increase more. He will bring more problem to Viola with the high concentration of the salt. So that's why it is better to know. It may to say one secret of Viola. I revealing at this moment how look like high concentration of the salts in the Viola. So please not forget to measure pH and EC in the substrate. It will help to avoid this problem in the future during the growing process. And let's start to talk about the stretching. Viola, it's cold resistant crop, and I may to say even cold lover, because optimal temperature range it's about 19 degrees. So here in the right picture you can see performance of the plants with a little bit stretchy leaves, and here you can see petioles of the plant about 1.5 times longer than the leaf plate, and so it means Viola start ready it's already start to stretching. It's ready to be stretching in the coming days, in the coming weeks. So that's why if you see this type of Viola, or even early, if you see this when the petioles start to stretch a little bit longer than the leaf plate, please not forget to apply PGRs. For instance, you can use a B9 as a PGRs in a level about 2000 or even up to 2,500 of ppm. It means 2.5 grams per liter. And what's about the other condition which help to avoid the stretching in Viola seedlings? Is it possible to use that? Yes, it is possible. And which kind of the condition can prevent stretching in Violas? Proper fertigation. Of course, if you apply fertigation level in the water with EC 1.5, 1.7, or even 2, you will able to avoid stretching a bit as well, and of course use the optimal temperature range. If you see Viola start to stretching, it can means that Viola get too high temperature. So please don't forget to apply or proper fertigation level or spray with the PGRs. And the best time to spray in the PGRs, it is about 3-4 normal leaves. And of course, provide a sunny condition. Viola, it is a sun likes crop, so that's why the high intensity of the light will help to make plant more bushy and less stretchy. And keep your plants a bit drier. If you see some kind of things of the stretching, please provide a little bit drier condition between the irrigation. Please let substrate little bit dry. Of course, not let the plants to a little bit faded, but please look at the substrate. If it get a gray color, it means substrate entirely dry, and only with this condition of the substrate you can start with the next watering. And what's about the other condition? Here I would like to highlight optimal condition for Viola to get healthy plant, like you see in the right picture. And this kind of, if you keep Viola under this condition, you will help Viola to avoid the stretching. The day temperature, as I said, should be rather low, so that's why the best time for Viola production is one of the coldest time in the year for the tropical region. But please keep in mind, some of Violas, like a Colossus, very sustainable against high temperature and very, may to say, heat lover crop. So if you would like to apply the Viola in your location, but if you have a high temperature, please apply Colossus for your location. And here you can see the light level intensity. Light intensity should be in the range between full sun and partial shade. It takes about it can be reflected in this level, like 40 till 60 kilolux on the shelf or on the table level. So if you're able to check the light level, please keep Viola in more lighter condition, in more bright light. And please avoid to overwatering of the substrate in Viola, and let the substrate dry between irrigation. Even if you see, especially if you see things of the stretching on the Viola. And here in this table, in the picture on the bottom of this slide, you can see the range, proper watering range, and the watering level, or sorry, moisture level of a substrate should be between 4 and 2. And not forget to dry substrate, to let plants dry between the irrigation. And let's talk about the last item of success: avoid televiopsis infection. How to help the plants to protect themselves against the televiopsis? One of the best range, as I said formerly, it can be pH. pH range can block completely if it is below 5.8. So if you provide proper pH, it's already very nice tool how to avoid televiopsis problem. And I would like to say how would like to spend a few words and make a description how televiopsis infection looks like. If you check rooting system of the Viola, you can see the black roots on the Viola. If you see the Viola get a little bit yellow on the leaves, especially if you provide proper level of the fertigation of a fertilizer, but at the same time you see plant become yellow, a little bit yellowish, and the plant start to little bit fading. Please check the root condition. If you see black spots or black zones on the root, it means plant infected by televiopsis. What kind of activity should follow after you find out televiopsis infection? Of course, not forget to remove infected plants from the trays and provide the plant with the proper pH. Initially, you have to understand are the plants under the proper pH or not? So measure pH in the substrate. If you see pH too high, it can be higher, like 6 or like 6.3, 6.5. Please apply water with a lower pH, with a pH like a 5.5, 5.6. And if you see already signs of the Televopsis infection, you can use these kind of chemicals, and you can use this table as a reference table to find active ingredients very helpful in this kind of issues, like iprolidone or different kind of other different kind of chemicals, and here you can see the name of the chemicals offered at least in 4 items. So with these different active ingredients, you will be able to rotate chemicals in your location, because again, I would like to say some kind of reminder. Please not forget about the resistance. I mean the fungal resistance against the different chemicals. Because if you apply all the time the same chemicals, you can raise a very resistant strains of the fungal diseases against these specific chemicals. To avoid this kind of resistance, please provide a different type of active ingredient. It's called rotation. So it's possible to use 3, 5 times one active ingredient, and please, after fifth or even fourth application, please change active ingredient. It will provide better plant protection, and it will protect you from the fungal resistance against the chemical ingredients. And this is a last topic I would like to say about Viola technical tips. And if you have additional questions, and if you have interest, or if you raise interest about our fantastic Viola assortment, you can reach out your key account manager. Please ask Amjad Iqbal for Southeast Asia countries, and ask Gautam Sangle if you grow your Viola in South Asia countries. And of course, you can ask me. You can send any kind of your question to my mail. And of course, please not forget find additional information in our Syngenta flower site. Here you can see the link on that site. You can use this link, and also of course you can use QR code in the right bottom corner as well. By this link, you can find many interesting details about our fantastic Viola assortment. And I would like to say thank you for your time at this moment. And please, Michael, can you check, do we have any questions or any remarks in our Q and answer
Yes,
chat?
Ivan. Thank you very much. I think, again, an excellent presentation, very clear. At the moment, we don't have any questions. So I would like to close the webinar at this moment. And like Ivan said, if you have any questions for our team, here are the contact details to reach out, or always reach out to the customer service. They're happily awaiting your questions. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.